Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tobit channel. Today we're going to be discussing the top 10 best cartoon intros. What makes a cartoon intro the best? Well, there's three things that an intro has to do. First, it has to establish the tone of the show you're about to watch. Secondly, it has to introduce important information to the audience, whether that be characters, settings, or plot points. Number 3, it's gotta have a killer song. All the best intros have great music. Also, I will not be counting anime in this because I think that deserves to be its own video. Starting out this list strong at number 10 is Bob's Burgers. This is a show I didn't expect I'd like as much as I did, but after I finally started watching it, it's definitely one of my favorite adult animated shows, maybe my very favorite. As for how the intro does the three things I mentioned earlier, firstly it does establish the tone pretty well with both the music and the visuals, in the sense that it shows bad things happening to the Belcher family, and yet the music still stays light, upbeat, and everyone's still smiling during it. Showing through adversity and bad things happening throughout the show, they still stay happy together as a family. It introduces us to all the main characters and the main setting. The music's overall pretty good, and also, as a little bonus, in every different episode, literally every single episode, two things change. The building next door to Bob's Burgers has a lot of different, puns for the names, so you get to see a glimpse into their sense of humor just in the intro, as well as also the exterminator that shows up is also always a pun. So you get two brand new jokes every intro before the show even starts. For number 9 here, we have Gravity Falls. The Gravity Falls intro does set the tone of the show pretty well. The music is lighthearted while we also see mysterious, creepy things all in the background and such, which does hint at how the show actually went, where it started off seeming like a more lighthearted comedy, and over time you see more of the darker mysteries under everything, and introduces us all to the characters, including even the final villain of the show, Bill Cipher, is hidden in the intro. Plus, the music's just really good. So of course, one version of the iconic Scooby-Doo story has to be on this list, right? And that would be a good time to mention that I'm only doing one intro per series. So when deciding which Scooby-Doo intro to use, What's New Scooby-Doo is the one I decided to go with. Not only do I just personally think that the Simple Plan What's New Scooby-Doo song is the best intro song they've ever had, everything else about the intro also works really well. It's kind of like a new version of the original Scooby-Doo intro, but with more of that new energy and rock music and stuff. You could show this to a first-time viewer of Scooby-Doo, someone who's somehow never seen anything Scooby-Doo related and doesn't know what it's even all about. And this intro will clue them into exactly what it's about. It shows us many Scooby-Doo staples, such as the iconic chases, the monsters, different places that they go exploring, Scooby and Shaggy eating, all that good stuff. They even, in the intro, show the iconic thing where all the monsters are just people in masks. For number 7, we have the coolest orange cat around. Not Garfield, but Heathcliff. This intro not only has an amazing song, it sets the tone of the goofy, lighthearted adventures that the cats get into. We're introduced to the main neighborhood setting and characters of the Heathcliff parts of the episodes, and the main dump setting and characters of the gang parts of the episodes. The one weird thing in this intro is at the very end of the intro, they say, "You should realize you can win with you," which doesn't fit the show at all. Everything else about the intro is great, but that one line at the very end just doesn't fit it at all, and it's kind of weird. For number 6, we have Lego Ninjago. The music choice definitely fits the tone for an early 2010s epic ninja adventure, which was a really popular type of show back then. It also quickly introduces us to all the main characters from the beginning of the show, what elemental powers they have, and the golden weapons that they use. So setting the tone well, introducing us to everything quickly yet in a cool way, and having an amazing song by The Fold, all adds up to this being quite an amazing intro. Honestly, the only thing I wish is that it was a bit longer. It's kind of like if Avatar The Last Airbender had a good intro instead of just having an exposition dump that should have only been in the first episode.
LarryBoy.
Okay, why does a VeggieTales spin-off intro have such a banger song? The LarryBoy theme song is unironically amazing, and the song itself tells us about what LarryBoy is all about, that he's like a kind and true hero like Superman, fighting for what's right, etc. And the visuals of the intro show us his whole thing, that he's a classic style superhero with a secret identity and everything. And we also get introduced to his different gadgets, like his cucumber car and cucumber jet. I don't know if that's actually what it's called. I haven't watched this show in years. But just by watching the intro, I can still tell what it's all about. So it's definitely a very good intro. It also sets the tone very well. Now for the Sonic the Hedgehog series, deciding which intro is pretty easy. Sonic X, the obvious best one, was ruled out when I said that I'm not counting animes, though that'll probably end up on the top 10 best anime intros list if I make that. The original Sonic the Hedgehog, or as people like to call it, Satayan. It's heavily based on the story of the Archie comics from around that time in the early to mid 90s, and the intro perfectly shows exactly what it's all about. It tells people who's Sonic, what's he about, he's the fastest thing alive, and he's got his whole thing with like having a bad attitude, being kind of a punk, kind of a rebel, which is an attribute of Sonic that I wish they'd bring back. It hasn't really been a thing since like 2009 and Sonic and the Black Knight. This original Sonic the Hedgehog intro also shows us story things, such as Dr. Robotnik taking over the world and making it all robot-y, and Sonic and his gang of freedom fighters fighting back against Eggman. We're introduced to the main enemy unit that Eggman uses, the SWAT bot, as well as seeing Eggman in his chair being all evil-like, which signifies that he's gonna be the main villain behind the scenes of everything. It establishes the tone of, even though a lot of dark things are happening, the tone stays, while intense, more upbeat, showing that it's more of an action show, not like some super dark, dramatic, gritty drama thing. And the music's just good. The music's good. Now, Spectacular Spider-Man is in a boat similar to What's New Scooby-Doo. We're taking the original intro and the general themes and such that it introduced and reintroducing it to a newer audience. Like the original 1960s intro, this version, the Spectacular Spider-Man, introduces both in song and visuals what Spider-Man's all about, that he's a Spider-Man that can swing around and do whatever the spider can. However, points that make it better than the original 60s intro. Firstly, it introduces more hero characters than Spider-Man, as we get to see other main characters such as Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy. Secondly, it also shows us Spider-Man's origin story, so people who might not be familiar with Spider-Man, if they pick it up for the first time, they know how Spider-Man became the man that can do whatever a spider can. And thirdly, in the original intro in the 60s, you only see Spider-Man fighting random criminals, while in this one, we get introduced to multiple supervillains that Spider-Man will have to fight multiple times throughout the shows. And also, if you couldn't tell already, I'm really a big fan of rock music, so having a rock song also just makes it sound better to me in my opinion, meaning I just think this song is better than the original 60s song. So the original 60s does get an honorable mention for being a really good intro, introducing you to Spider-Man and really being the only 60s Marvel show to have a good intro. But Spectacular Spider-Man definitely earns its place as number 3 on the list. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot to mention the tone. The rock tone and the visuals show you the world of Spider-Man, just like with lots of other cartoons from around this time. Some like punk, pop rock kind of music just fits superheroes really well. I'd be hard pressed to find a superhero show with some kind of pop punk or rock style intro that doesn't fit the show. Speaking of Marvel superheroes, the Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes. Yeah, this was back when being a Marvel fan was actually cool. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes has an amazing song by Bad City that, just like with all the previous superhero shows, this kind of rock music really fits with the superhero style, as the lyrics can convey lots of stuff about what the superheroes are about, like the main theme of working together that the Avengers have, that they always fight as one, despite their differences. as well as also the music in general having a lot of fast, upbeat energy that really fits the action of superheroes. And this one is an amazing song, and it also shows off a bunch of superheroes really well, especially the main four: Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, and Thor. All these Avengers heroes, we get to see at least little glimpses of them throughout the action, though the four I just mentioned are the main four guys that the intro focuses on. And I do wish there was a slight bit more focus on Black Panther and Hawkeye. Those were always two of my favorites growing up. But it's not like they're entirely absent from the intro. Not only are they there at the end with the rest of the Avengers, you also get to see them on the screens in Tony Stark's lab. And while we're not introduced to a direct main villain, we are introduced to Hydra, which most villains in this show are in some way connected to Hydra, as they're kind of like the main evil team in the Marvel Universe.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual.
Real quick, I want to give an honorable mention to the Boondocks. Now, this show is very good, very funny. It's an amazing show. It just barely didn't make the cut for the list because of one thing. It does a great job at introducing us to the main cast of characters that we'll be following throughout the show. And it has an amazing song, but it's just missing one thing. It doesn't really set the tone that well. Like, the overall visuals and the song itself have a bit more of a dark tone than the show itself actually has. Transformers, just like multiple other shows I've discussed on this list, is a show that spanned decades and has had multiple different iterations and intros over the years. And deciding which one to actually put here was a little bit difficult. But I knew it had to be a version of the original, because the lyrics of the original song from 1984 do show us exactly what the Transformers are about. They're more than meets the eye, they're robots in disguise, specifically in the disguise of human vehicles most of the time. And also we get the most basic concept of this show that anyone can understand. That lets us know that there's battles going on. Autobots are the good guys, Decepticons are the evil ones. While the best version of the song is the one from the movie in 1986, honestly, I wish more movies would bring that song back, because the version in the 1986 movie is so amazing. But as for the TV shows, I think Transformers Animated does it best. Every version of the song, from original to animated, is amazing. It is weird that they stopped using it after animated. Pretty disappointing. Like, it'd be cool to have a version of like Transformers Prime or something. This up-tempo, rock-styled intro fits the Transformers battles for the same reason that fits the superheroes. The lyrics, once again, just like the original show, tell you exactly what it's all about, and also the visuals let you get introduced to the main Transformers. While this show, just like the original, has a wide cast of many different robots you'll see across it, you do get introduced to the main Autobot crew that you'll be spending most of your time with during the first part. And during the guitar solo, you're introduced to a lot of the Decepticons that you'll be seeing. Just like with Scooby-Doo and Spider-Man, I wanted to take a step back and think about what this intro introduces to people that have never seen Transformers before. They don't know anything about it. And it introduces the characters really well, it sets the tone of the show, and I feel this show does the best job at introducing the series to new viewers, though the original is a very, very close second. If we didn't have animated on here, I'd probably have Season 2 of the original show on here. While I prefer the music in Season 1's intro over Season 2, the Season 2 intro does do a better job at showing you more cool battles and more Transformers that you'll be seeing. But luckily I didn't have to pick between those two, because animated, I feel, does the best job. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this top 10 list. If you did, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to comment down below what your favorite cartoon intro is. Have a great day!